everyone, this is Jen from Scrapping Posh, and I'm going to make a charm for this mini album. And I'm not going to show that for very long because it is for a swap. And I'm going to use the Masquerade collection, and we're going to use this these pieces that came in the big kit, and they are oblong. They come with the glass pieces. They also come with chains and jump rings, and I'm going to use those, and lobster clasps. So let's get started. I'll show you how to make, I keep losing my jump rings. I'll show you how to make a cool charm, or at least I think it's a cool charm, and then I'll add some ribbon and stuff so it'll be a complete unit. Okay, here we go. There's my jump ring. So I'm gonna put all this paper aside. This is my scraps here, because I don't need paper right now. I have some beads and some charms from my stash, and I'm mixing colors because I don't care if the colors are mixed. I've got silver and I've got the antique bronze. And all the Beebeecraft stuff will be linked below, but Beebeecraft, these are from my stash, but Beebeecraft also has a ton of little charms and stuff for you guys to use, so be sure to check them out. And I'm going to modify this. This is like a pendant, and it's meant to hang this way. I'm going to modify it. We're going to hang it this way to accommodate this mask. So the first thing I'm going to do is move this out of the way. I'm going to take and trace around. Now, remember from the last one we did, when you trace around this, it's going to be too big because whoops, and this helps if you don't move it. It's going to be too big because we're tracing around the outside. That was horrible, you guys. We're tracing around the outside of something, so obviously it's bigger than what I traced around. I'll get it out eventually. I'll go ahead and cut this out. And graphic 45 papers, I mean, there are so many images you can do this with, so. Alright. And I'm going to do a rough cut. And I'm going to just place it in here. And you can see it sits on top instead of in, so I'm just going to take about 1/16 off. And if your measurements aren't exact, don't worry about it, because we're going to go around the outside with a black marker and kind of hide any errors that you make will kind of go into the shadows, I guess. Okay, so we need to take a little bit more off on this side. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Alright, as long as I stay, let's see, a little bit more on that side. Actually, I'm going to take it off of this side because that white is showing. And as long as you don't like brute it, you know, like take off a whole bunch, it'll be fine. Okay, so there we go. I'm going to use glossy. I found my glossy accents, which is a bonus. I'm so happy. Get rid of these little scraps. I don't need those. And I'm going to just take this black permanent marker and go around the outside of this shape. And that's just going to hide all the edges and kind of put that put the edges into the shadows of the charm. Alright, I don't need scissors. Scissors are not going to help me anymore. Okay, so I have glossy accents. You can also use, I had this Stampin' Up! It says fine tip glue pen, but it is a clear. It leaves things shiny, but you do want a clear glue and something that isn't going to affect. I just purged this. Of course it doesn't work for me. There's a big, I didn't, like I said, I lost this and now there's a big thing stuck in there. Purge my glue. I need something to purge my glue on. Okay guys, I got it. I got that hard bit out of there. I took the lid off and just did it. So, here we go. Now I can play. Alright. So first you just put a bit of glue under. You don't need a lot, just enough to stick this. Now glossy accents takes about 20 minutes to dry to the touch, but it takes overnight to dry completely, and you want it to be dried completely. Now I'm going to go ahead and put together, it's going to dry even slower because it's going to be all enclosed, but it'll be dry enough that I can put this together while we're on camera. So I'm going to just do the same thing to the top, and remember, you don't have to fill it. If you don't have the glass piece, you can just fill it with glossy accents and that'll be fine. But we have the glass piece. Okay, I must not have got all the, obviously I didn't get all the crap out of there. Alright, so we just want to do the same thing to the top that we did to the bottom. And the problem with taking the lid off of this is that it like unseals it. So now I'm gonna have leaking issues. Jeez. This is, I mean, this is what happens when you don't use your stuff. Because I put it with my glitter, which I don't know. I guess I was thinking I'll use that with glitter, which I could. Okay, so anyways, you don't need a lot. You're just sticking this on. You're not filling it up. So I'm going to deal with that later. I got enough on there to stick my thing on here. And you squeeze it, and even though you only use a little tiny bit, make sure you don't have glossy accents on your hand. You only use a little tiny bit, it's still going to squeeze out of the sides. And you don't want to get the glossy accents on the glass piece because it's clear, but it will leave streaks. So I'm just going to take a piece of scrap paper, or you can use a cloth. Whatever I just did what I said not to do. We'll get that off of there though. Or if you screw it up like I did, sorry my language you guys. I'm just going to use my fingers because I know my fingers will get it off. Alright, so I'm going to set that aside. Isn't that cute? Goes perfectly with the album, obviously. That's why we do this, right? Definitely a must-have are these little charms that you can put the paper in to make your own. It's just a wonderful idea. Okay, now on the album I used 2 eyelets. I used 2 eyelets and then I just ran a chain between them. This is going to be where my main stuff is going to hold on. And from here I'm just going to use some chain. This is the chain from the kit. Remember, I've done all that stuff with it. I still have, you know, I bet there's 2 feet here. And the rest of the charms are from my stash, and then I have some different like ribbons and trims and such. Okay. But Beebeecraft has all this stuff, so be sure you check them out. Okay, so the generous supply of eyelets that I have here from this kit have gone so far in my creating. I appreciate that. And there's more lobster clasps there than you could possibly want to. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, my album's only 6 inches, so I'm going to take 6 inches of this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to cut 6 inches off. I use wire trimmers, but they do have jewelry trimmer thingies that I'm sure are more delicate and better to use for this. Okay, my 6 inches, I'm going to put a lobster clasp at about 3 inches. This is going to be where my charms are going to hang onto, and my beads that I made, my strung beads. And now the metal portion of the charm will be removable. You can use it for whatever you want. Keychain, bookmark, whatever. I like giving people like multiple uses out of the things that I make. Now, whatever charms you have, this charm I got at a local craft store on like clearance. And I thought that the lady on the front kind of just went with the ladies in the paper Midnight Masquerade collection. So this is going to go here. Yeah. Getting the jump rings through the, there we go, through the little chain sometimes can be a pain, but excuse me. So there's one that's going to hang down quite a bit. So on this side, let's do one of these beads. And I'm always tempted to use my fingernails on one side of these to straighten it out, but my fingernails aren't as strong as they used to be, so not a good idea for me. And then these colors of beads, they're what I had in my stash, and they complement the paper. They're a little more pastel than the actual paper, but that's okay. Okay, there's that part of it. I'll put these on. I didn't really do this one very good. I'm going to redo the, it looks kind of cheesy there. Left this just a little too long. These are jewelry things and you need them, and I don't know what they're called, but they make this little loop here on this guy. It's very important. I'll try and find, I got those before, but I'll try and find a link to the one on Beebeecraft, because if you're going to do these beads like this, you have to have one of those. Alright, there we go, I fixed it. Okay. I'm going to add this bead here. And I was going, okay, I'm going to tell you guys what I was going to do, because I've changed my mind since then. Surprise. I was going to cut the, oh, what's that thing called? I was going to cut this off and then just use a jump ring through the top there so that it would be the right direction. But I've changed my mind. I think I can just leave it hanging, and it's, I mean, so what? It'll be sideways. I think if I do it the other way, it's going to look funny. There's a reason why it's that way. I'm sure. Why mess with it, right? Okay, let's make sure those are together. So I got 2 more beads and this heart, and then I'm going to put him on a lobster clasp too, so he's removable. Again, all these jump rings and everything were in that kit. The jump rings, the chain, this charm with the cover, all that was in the kit. The rest of the beads and stuff you have to get separate. I'm going to get back on the website and see what kind of beads they have. Because I'm definitely going to get some more chain. That chain lasted forever. And I'm going to have to play with the round ball chain, because I got the round ball chain in the kit and I've never used it, so it's probably awesome. Whoa. But you just tend to stick with what you know, right? Gonna have to play with it. Okay. Alright, that one's a little bigger than the other ones. I'm just looking to see where this would look good. I think maybe at the end of this. Just do whatever is pleasing to your eye. There we go. One more and then we'll put the big guy on. This one's not very pretty either. What was I thinking that day, huh? I pre-make these so that I have different colors when I want to, because when I'm making a charm, I don't want to have to string beads. This one's going to go right up here by the lobster clasp. There we go. Okay, so there's that part, and then let's go ahead and add this guy. I'm going to put the lobster clasp on first, so he's removable. And then this one's already full, so let's add another chain to this one and let it hang down just a little more. So let's get 2 inches of chain here. Okay, it'll be super easy. You go jump ring, here to add the chain. Actually, you could put a jump ring on both sides because you're going to add the clasp to one. Jump ring, and you just kind of look to see how far you want it to hang down. That would be good, so I'm going to put it right here between these 2 beads. Add a jump ring to the other side of that dangle. I had too much coffee this morning. Okay, and like I said, right between these 2 beads. Okay, and then you clip him on the end of that, right through that second jump ring you added. There we go. There's your completed metal charm. And I'm just going to make sure it's not over 6 inches. If it is, I may have to put it up a little bit. I don't want it to hang down way past it. It's a little bit further than 6 inches down, so I'm going to move it up a little bit. And then we'll finish with the textiles. Okay, everybody, here's the charm. I put this almost to the top there so that it just hung down just a little further than the rest of it. And may got a little bit of glossy accents on the outside, and that's okay. Okay, so here we go. There's our charm made from the paper, which is awesome. And here is our book. Just take your book and lay it flat. And remember, we just used a jump ring and strung this chain through. Now the textiles, the ribbons and stuff, are going to be like a backdrop for your big charm. So it's gonna look, it's still gonna be right there, but we want to put the ribbons on first. And this is seam binding, so I did tie the ends off. I'm gonna have to look it up or just try it. You may be able to burn seam binding and kind of make the, you know, this one's kind of short, so I'm going to just put it up and tie it here. So I just tie these onto the chain, and then you can cut it later. So just to keep it interesting, and I don't knot it. I just one pull. And you just got once you get all this on, you can I don't want 2 next to each other. This is just like 1/8 inch black satin or 3/16. Then the purple's 1/4 inch. I got some eyelash trim, which gives it a nice fun feeling, especially I think, you know, with the masks. I think that eyelash trim definitely gives it that feel. I got some navy seam binding, and I got my seam binding at Beebeecraft Creations. They have the best assortment of colors. And this one's a long one, so I'm just going to do it at the half mark. There we go. Now, before I put this big piece of lace through here, I'm going to go ahead and put my charm on, because that may consume the rest of my chain that's hanging out. So I'm going to hook it. I don't hook it I hook it right over the chain itself, not through one of the loops. So it hangs down right to the end. What do you guys think? And then let's put this big piece of lace in here if I can fit it. You want all different textures and sizes when you do this. That would almost be neat as just like a big bow to top off. Okay, push it down beneath it. I'm gonna turn this over and go from the bottom. Now, put this white lace on there. And you don't have to use everything you pull out. I got this plastic bead trim, put that in there. This one's a little harder to tie, but it is possible. Or you can glue it. Just tie it in a knot. There we go. And one more piece I have. I'm going to try and get it in there. I think I got it. There we go. What do you guys think? I like it. I didn't use that piece, but that's okay. So, here we go. Look at it. What do you think? Let's take a pair of scissors and trim this off here. I want that one gone. I want this black one shorter. Let's do this black one shorter. This purple one I want shorter. I don't want them all the same length. I don't want them hanging down either. This purple one let's put up here. And this black one let's make shorter. There we go. What do you think? Alright, you guys, there we go. That was my little charm tutorial. And I'll be doing a share on the mini album as soon as my swap partner opens it up and says she receives it. I don't want to ruin it for her. Alright, you guys, thank you a lot. Head on over to Beebeecraft, beebeecraft.com, and grab your jewelry making supplies to add interest to your charms. And we'll see you later. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.